Woohoo! Hello, Facebook land. It's Lisa Neller here, and I do have a guest, Karen Hendrickson. I'm going to introduce her in a little while. Um, it is Saturday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, and normally I did my show, Unstuck the Road to Reinvention. I was doing it on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, up until August. And then what happened in August was I got like really burned out and stressed out because I was involved in a coaching program that was taking up a lot of my time in addition to my full-time job. So anyway, I haven't broadcast since August. And in August, I had done my 19th episode. And today, on a Saturday afternoon with Karen, I'm doing episode number 20. So just FYI, so I got this certification as an insight coach. I'm going to show you my little certificate that I worked on from like July to November. And that's what was keeping me so busy. And Karen's also a coach, and we've connected for many years. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. The question I want to ask you tonight, before we get started, or today, I should say, is, are you ever in pain? Do you ever feel pain? This sounds like a rhetorical question, but it makes us think about all the pain that we have throughout life: back pain, leg pain, hip pain, knee, hands, wrists, elbows, you name it. We have pain everywhere. And so that's why I brought my guest Karen on today, because she is a specialist in relieving pain. And I want to tell you about her now. And also remind you that this is Unstuck, the Road to Reinvention. And this show really is about helping you not so much reinvent who you are, but improve your experience of life. So that's why we're here. And I want to tell you a little bit about my guest, Karen. So excited that she's here. So Karen and I both share a love of essential oils. And we met, I think she said like 7 years ago or something. We met quite a while ago through our mutual doTERRA sponsor, Stephanie Smith. So Stephanie, if you ever see this, hello and thank you. Karen is a silver team leader with doTERRA, and in addition to sharing her expertise in wellness. So Karen holds a bachelor's degree in kinesiology and a master's degree in exercise physiology. She also has a certification in MAT, M-A-T, otherwise known as muscle activation technique. And she learned how to test, correct, and maintain muscle contractile efficiency, which when practiced regularly, heals the muscles and relieves pain. So we're talking isometric movement, and she's going to talk about that in a little while. Karen is the founder of Mindful Muscle Method, a unique science-based exercise program designed to help people of all ages and all body types. Over the past 15 years, she has helped thousands of clients through her program, which combines gentle and science-based muscle activation with mind-body techniques to allow the body to heal and learn proper mechanics to prevent future injury. During the last 5 years, Karen has studied the connection of emotion to physical pain. She loves the healing power of essential oils and incorporates those as well. And her mission is to make these techniques available to anyone and make them easy to do. So with that, Karen, I want to welcome you to Unstuck, the Road to Reinvention. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I know you're a super busy person too, so I get to be on your show today.
Well, it's good we could find a Saturday, where it could be a little more relaxed and I'm not so stressed out. So, Karen, tell us, this is a show about reinvention. Tell us how you've reinvented yourself lately, because we reinvent ourselves throughout our lives, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, well, it's an interesting story, and I never believe that there's any coincidences and things that the universe throw at us. So I've been treating clients for about 15 years, and with this modality, and it's pretty physical. So when I treat a client, I have to test their muscle strength, and that requires a lot of just physical effort on my part. So I have to sometimes hold their leg up, push down. I mean, it's like a workout in itself. And then I palpate the origin insertion to get blood flow. So it's a lot of work physically. And the last couple of years that I was doing it, and of course there's the emotional component too, on top of that. So the last couple of years, I found myself just getting burned out. I found myself loving the work that I did, loving the clients that I had, and, just the success stories and helping people to feel better. But my body was like, this is not going to work forever for you. You're not going to be able to do this till you're 90 if you don't change something about your own body or figure out another way to do it. So that kind of started coming to me, but then, we all get into that kind of fear-based mode where, well, what would I do? I've got all these clients. This is how I, bring my income in. So I started just to think about different options. And one thing that always bothered me about what I did is because I have 2 kids, so I only worked when they were in school. And because it was so physical, I only took on a certain amount of clients a week. Mm-hmm. So it was very limiting as far as the people I could help. So my body's hurting, I'm in pain, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So I ended up taking all these components of the things that I had learned throughout the years, because nothing out there was really helping me the way that I figured I could probably help myself if I put my mind to it. Mm. So I created something for my body to help with my pain. And I took the science of the isometrics. I took breathing that I learned through yoga. I took the mindfulness component. I used essential oils. And I literally was like, I think this is going to be something that I'm going to teach to other people, but I need to first feel it in my own body and see if it really works, Mm-hmm. Because I can't share anything until I've really experienced it and I really believe fully. So I took about a year and I did isometric. I did this routine with my body, and I did it pretty religiously, probably 4 to 5 times a week, because I had no choice. And it worked. I felt so much better. My pain started to dissipate. And so I just started to manifest, I'm like, this is something I want to teach people. And I could do it online, and I could do it in group settings. It could cost way less than a treatment, less stress on my body. And I could, just more people could be helped in general. So that all started going on. And then COVID hits, right? And I'm still treating clients, and then everyone cancels. And I had actually taken on a coaching job too with a company that I loved. And I had just quit it because I'm like, this is not my passion. I love coaching, but I'm supposed to work with the body. So I literally had just quit a job that was consistent income. Mm-hmm. I had COVID hit. None of my clients were coming. I didn't even know if I wanted to see people at that point. I couldn't apply for a small business loan because I hadn't really been working my own business so much because I had taken this other job. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting situation for me to be in. And I'm not one that will pity. I don't just, I only let myself get down for a short time. And then I thought, you know what, again, there's some blessing here. I'm just going to put my head down and I'm going to create this online program. And so that's how I reinvented myself, and it's going wonderful. And I have to say I'm proud of myself, because I could have taken the other road very easily, because I felt like things were kind of against me for a couple of weeks there.
It's easy to go down the rabbit hole. In fact, somebody said something about that to me this morning. If you don't learn to manage your mind, then you can go down a dark place pretty quickly. But if you can learn to manage your mind, and that's, I think, what coaching does, is help people do that, then you can turn it around. You can flip it. You can go down for a little bit, but then you got to look back up for the sunshine. It's like when you're in the water, when you're in the ocean, you got to look back up. I'm curious what drew you to kinesiology and exercise physiology. What was the thing when you were younger that drew you to that education?
Yeah, that's interesting because I do remember making the decision my sophomore year at Michigan, deciding that that's what I wanted to do. I was a swimmer, growing up. So I was on my high school swim team. I was always really fascinated with just like learning about nutrition and wellness and, exercise in general. And I really didn't know what else like sparked interest in me. So I remember it was my sophomore year and a friend was in kinesiology and I thought, that's something that, and I did not get good grades my freshman year. I mean, it was very hard for me. Um, and then I transferred into kinesiology because I just thought this is like sparking the most joy out of all these different majors. And I thought maybe I'd be a physical therapist or an OT at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just drew me in because I love the body. I feel like we are born with this body and it's so fascinating to learn. Like you can never learn enough, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then you just moved on into exercise physiology and then decided to help people learn how to manage their bodies.
Yeah, so kinesiology is the study of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a 2-year break and I was like a program director and I worked with clients I actually was always very interested in working with people with challenges. I
Mm-hmm.
never found that much joy kind of working with just anyone. I really wanted to work with people who like needed it to function. I always knew that was my kind of my thing. And so I got certifications in aquatic therapy actually. That was my first because
Oh,
I'm a Pisces, I was a swimmer. I love the
that's
water.
interesting.
And then, so I worked with a bunch of people at a local health club in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then moved out here to get my master's degree. I don't think kinesiology was an option. So ex-phys and kinesiology are pretty much hand in hand. They're very similar. So my first business actually was going to people's pools and helping them with therapy, but I didn't realize people in Arizona didn't heat their pools all winter. And so I was like, well, this business is not going to work the whole year. But yeah, the water is kind of my first love.
I didn't know that about you, that you were a swimmer. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story sometime about my swim team experience. I was not a natural swimmer.
Okay.
I can just tell you right now, I was in the exhibition lane. You know what that lane is, right? Okay.
I was never first place, but I was always kind of in the middle, but it was just good for me.
Yeah.
Never good trouble.
Swimming's awesome. Swimming's
Yeah.
awesome. So, how do you help people specifically with regard to relieving pain? Let's call it chronic pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, chronic or acute, sometimes it is just like an injury that usually it's not overnight. Like there's things that lead up to that injury, but sometimes it is those clients that just said, I twisted my ankle, or I, fell during basketball game or something. But so I am still working with clients one-on-one. Currently it's actually really fun. I'm doing it outside
Hmm.
and super safe and distant, as much as we can. And then I've been working with clients online as well. But my biggest thing right now is I started teaching a class. So, and you got to take it, which is so fun. Hi, you're back.
I'm back. It said I lost internet connection, which is so weird. So,
Oh no.
yeah, where did we leave off? I think I asked
I'm
you.
not sure. So I continued to talk, but I don't know if anyone could hear me.
Oh yeah, they can because we're still going. So yeah,
Okay, awesome.
we're talking about how you were helping people relieve chronic pain. Yeah.
Yes. So I just talked about my online classes and my videos on demand that I have that people can be a member of. You can get 2 weeks for free and it's just $13 a month. I wanted to, again, part of my mission was to keep it affordable so that I could truly help. I feel like this stuff is just super magical because it's helped so many people. Um, as far as what we do, it's truly safe for most. I would say 9 out of 10. If you can get on to a mat and be on a mat comfortably, we move in a couple different positions during the class. So we do some things on your back, we do some things on the stomach, on all fours. Lisa, I think I was saying this and then you left. You've been to my class, so you have had, personal experience.
Yes, I have. And I do want to talk about that.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So this class, it's interesting because at first sight, people will look at my videos or look at what I'm doing and think, this is like super simple. Like, is this really going to do anything? But it's very deliberate the way that I've created it. So when I learned my muscle activation techniques, I was able to literally test every single muscle in the body. And in order to do that, I had to learn the exact positioning of where you isolate the muscle. And most people don't know how to do that. I mean, it was a very pretty specific skill.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way I created these movements are based on, the science of the positioning of the muscle. So there's little room for compensation, and people are truly able to just feel this sort of strength that they've never felt before, because you can't get there just doing these broad movements. There's a time and place for that stuff too, but this is different. It's very much about injury prevention, like truly feeling an internal strength. And I still wow myself. Like, I still, even in my own body, I'm like, holy cow, this stuff works. Like, it's really neat. Like, when I have pain and I just get down on my mat and do something, or just like see the changes in my own muscle strength, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I want to speak to that. So Karen did invite me to her class, and I signed up to go to several of them. And, as a yoga teacher, I'm pretty mindful anyway, but it's so different. Like, these are very small movements. They're isometric movements. They don't take a long time. It's like breathing in for 4 counts, breathing out for 4 counts, and doing like that 4 times. So I don't want to call it easy because, but it's not hard work in the sense that you're like out of breath or you're just overtaxing. It's just so concentrated and so mindful. And I will say, because I haven't really done it enough, but I did sign up for your monthly program.
Awesome.
So what I love about that is that there are short videos that you can watch, 7 to 10 minutes. And then there are long ones. So you could like do one in the morning if you wanted to, and then you could do a short one in the morning and a longer one later on or the next day. It's very convenient. And also, I want to say something just about mindfulness, just for an example, because I am mindful because of your class and because of yoga. We have this like carpeting in our garage, and it's like lifting up, and I could easily trip over that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not right. Like, I told my husband the other night, we need to pull that out because it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
If I wasn't so mindful about it, I could easily trip and fall and crash into one of the metal things he's got against the wall, Yeah. So I think that your program really brings home this mindfulness and being super hyper aware of your movement. And that provides a solid internal strength. But I'd like you to talk about that internal strength and power that this method brings.
So thank you for that example, actually, because that's exactly what I'm going for here. It's getting out of the old fitness paradigm of we do this to look different and lose weight and all the extrinsic things, which will come actually with what my program does, but it's about the intrinsic benefit of being strong for life, just for daily life. And it's and to prevent injury from, maybe if you like to run or you like to do a power yoga class or go skiing or whatever it is you like to do, it's this kind of like layer of protection, I guess I like to say. And so I'm very, very passionate about helping people to get this core strength. And I know you can't see where I'm pointing, but I'm about 2 inches below my belly button.
Uh-huh.
And that place in our body is just, there's so many powerful things that come from there. Our confidence, our digestive, process, just our like ability to hold ourselves up straight and to, I mean, it's everything. And so during the class, I always talk about imagine an imaginary line. If we're working the shoulder, you're still connecting that place below the belly button, because if we don't have the connection there, the brain is not gonna, it's all connected and it all has a neural pathway to the brain, and that is our home. Some people call it home. I'm actually taking a class right now. It's amazing, called The Art of Feminine Presence. She calls it the womb space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I call it the powerhouse. I mean, it's really important that we get that really strong. So I'm very focused on making sure during my class to keep talking people through. Keep your belly button, contracted, and imagine that line from the muscle to the belly, so that we can establish that really good core strength.
Yeah, and I have to say, you're really good at that. Really good at reminding us how to breathe and how to focus in on those muscles and to really pull everything into the center, into that core space down below the belly button. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Can you give our audience 3 to 5 tips?
Sure.
For being more mindful with regard to the body and our physiology and maybe even our emotion.
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk about it in regards to movement, just because that's what I know the most about.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing, so there's a couple different components that I'm really, really strict with and just passionate about in my class. And the first thing is, if you're not training for a race and speed is important to what you're wanting to accomplish, there's not much benefit. Like when we look at like the benefits of exercise for like cardiovascular and, all the different like systemic things inside, speed is not going to really give you that big of an edge health wise.
Mm.
In fact, what it could do is it could actually it could bring on some vulnerabilities, right? If we're not stable, especially as we age. I hate saying that because I believe we can stay strong the whole way through life, but if we're not paying attention to it, we do, lose some strength as we age and we become more vulnerable. Again, if
Mm-hmm.
we're not paying attention to it. So slow down. That's my biggest tip. Like I remember in my 20s and even 30s, like it took me a long time to learn this lesson. It's just like I wanted to go more, faster, harder, burn more calories. Like I definitely had a exercise disorder most of my life, actually, until really I probably had my kids. And then I was like forced to slow down. And then I was actually in a bad car accident, which that's a whole other story, but that's really what prompted me to get into MAT, because it was all that helped me. So I've been through this. I've been through the crap. Like I was in a terrible
Yeah.
car accident and couldn't move for months. Um, I've had so many injuries. I've had 2 kids, like, and I think that's awesome because I can relate to people in pain. I mean, I've literally couldn't walk from the bed to the bathroom for many, many weeks at one point. So slow down. There's no reason to put your body in a state of being more vulnerable if that's not your top goal. So I know that was a long-winded answer. But slow down, because if you go too fast, you actually won't use the correct muscles anyway. Like it's easier to compensate, and then when you compensate, you're going to create patterns that aren't going to serve you. So slow down. There's no reason to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
Breathe. Like I can't tell you how many people I see, like they hold their breath and they clench. In my class, the first couple of minutes I say, let's release the tension. It's really important to do that, because so when I was getting my master's degree, I was in a neuroendocrine lab and we studied stress and the effects of cortisol. And so what we found is that, when you're in a state of stress, which is the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, you're much more liable to get injured, get sick, all the things, have inflammation. So let's say you're out exercising and working out, but you're in that systemic sympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
the exercise is not going to do that much benefit for you because your body thinks it's stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
What most people don't understand is that you it's exercise is a stress, but you want it to be a good stress. So I always say you want to come at it at a relaxed state versus like tense and stressed and how many miles can I get? It's like that is not good for your health.
That's how I feel like when I'm in a, I don't do power yoga, but I have done it, and I've done fast moving flow classes, and some people really love that energy, but like I've always slowed that down. Like I always worked on my alignment and just went slower than everyone else because I knew if I kept doing it fast, I would probably injure something.
Yeah, I've done it for sure.
Yeah.
So slowing down, being, in a state of non-stress during your exercise, during your movement.
Okay.
And the last thing you mentioned, the emotional, and I don't feel like I know enough to say too much yet because I really like to hardcore research before I put stuff out there. But I did get very into Louise Hay when I was about 35, so like 8 years ago, and she connected me to those like mind body patterns. Like, oh, you've got lower back issues. It could be related to abundance, lack, scarcity, and I was like, that's really interesting because I would see clients, and this started happening like the last 5 years, and they would just start bawling on my table. And I was like, I didn't know how to handle this. I didn't get trained as a therapist. It
Right.
actually really freaked me out in the beginning. But I think everything comes to you when you're ready to handle it. And so I started having more emotional clients and more of these like situations. And they would say, well, I'm releasing. I feel a release. Oh my gosh, how do I handle this? And so then I started reading more about those emotional connections. And so if you have pain, think about give yourself like some other ways to even think outside of the box too. And I like, doing that during my class. I just kind of add it into the meditation. So
Mm-hmm.
we focus on one body part, and I'll just add like a mantra or an affirmation. I don't go too much there because not everyone's ready for that yet, but there's a strong connection. Yeah. So it's just something to be curious about.
Oh, for sure. So have you read The Body Keeps the Score?
I know I haven't. That's
Okay. Well, that is a book that's a must read for everybody who really wants to know how things like PTSD can really affect your body long term.
okay.
And there's a huge, psychological component there, and trauma and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're connected. The mind, the mind and the body are totally connected. So Karen, let's talk about where people can find you. And yeah, talk about all the things, all the places they can find you and what they can do to work with you.
Basically, so I just redid my website to make it easier to navigate, and I think it's
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I worked with a great person. If anyone needs a website developer, she's awesome. So you can go to my website. That's really the best place to learn about all the things that I offer. So it's Karen Elise Wellness, Karen with a Y. Elise
Why?
wellness.com. And you can sign up for a class. And so I offer a coupon code for anyone for the first time just to try it out. It's you can find it on my website, but first-free.
Mm-hmm.
You can sign up for a class. You can check out my online videos. And again, like I said, you can get 2 weeks for free with that. So really, you can try me out without spending a dime just to see if it's for you. I would encourage people, though, to give themselves enough time to really get into it because it's different than a lot of people are used to. So I tell people, if you want to open yourself up and try something new, try at least 4 to 5 sessions or 4 to 5 classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different, as you know. So yeah, you can find me there, and hopefully soon. I really do miss doing in-person. I love doing in-person workshops where I like use the oils and we do movement and we journal. And so I'm thinking about creating something that we can do outside in January.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to spell this again for everyone. So Karyn ELISE wellness.com. So that's where you can find Karen. And then, of course, she's on Facebook and she's on Instagram, same name. Karen, Karyn Hendrickson on Facebook, and then Karen Elise Wellness on Instagram, correct?
Mostly on both, yeah.
On both?
Yeah.
Okay, on both. All right. So, and I put that in the chat box, and I'll also make sure that we put that in the Facebook comments. And if you anyone out there watching, if you have any questions for Karen, put them in the comment box on Facebook. She'll keep an eye on that and answer any questions. Karen, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What are you wanting to? Oh, wait! Before we get to your legacy, I'm sorry. Just talk about the oils a little bit. Like, tell me why you love the oils so much.
Oh, they're just amazing. That's how we met, you and I. I don't know. I just love them. I love to smell them. I love the healing properties. Another story for another day, but I needed to really get into holistic healing for myself after just lots of different things went on with me. And so it was like kind of my road to recovery when I found the essential oils. And I was not looking to get into another business at all, but I couldn't help but share. And, you know, we both are passionate about doTERRA, and they're just the best and such a great culture and company. And then actually, one thing I didn't talk about is I created specific blends.
Yes, you did.
That was
one for the shoulder love and hip love. And I love that.
During this COVID time that I'm like, I'm just someone who needs to stay busy, and I like to be creative. And so I haven't used them too much. You can purchase them on my website. But I plan on doing some more trainings or workshops, you know, using the oils. But they smell good. They make me happy. I use probably 8 a day.
I will match that. Because they start with my toothpaste and mouthwash, and they're in the shower, and in all the products in the shower, and all the facial stuff and the body lotion, everything, right? Yeah. And they're very healing. And they have powerful effects. So I'm excited that you're doing that. And then, so let's talk about your legacy. What are you going to leave behind?
This question keeps me going, to be honest. Keeps me going on those days that I'm like, is this even worth it? We all have those days, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like your own business, you know, you have one too with your coach. It's like you work so hard. There's such blood, sweat, and tears. And it has to be something that you truly feel is like part of your purpose here. You know, I get actually really emotional thinking about it because when I'm not doing this, I get sick. It's interesting. My health is not good when I veer away from my main purpose. So my legacy, first and foremost, for sure, before anything, is I have 2 daughters. Alexa, she's 13, and Stella's 10. And just to raise 2 very kind, good human beings.
As you are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll try. So just to be a good influence for them, you know, when I'm gone, they can say that I helped them, form them, and they'll do their own thing too. But I just want them to be good humans. So that's first. And then as far as my career goes, you know, it's to give people hope again, and to give people hope that they can truly heal themselves. And there are tools out there, because I think there's so many people out there that have felt helpless, including myself, several times, where it's like you go to all these different people and you're looking outside of yourself for all the answers. But truly, if you really hone in on what you need, I do believe that the right things will come to you. So it's just, I want something new. I want something different. And I want to break out of that regular fitness paradigm and be one of the game changers. That would be really cool.
I love that. Oh my gosh, a game changer. And you certainly are. And thank you so much for joining me today, because I really think this is really important work. You know me, I've been mind body for 20 years, and this is important to me. And I think that if you're a massage therapist, or if you're a yoga teacher, or in fitness, that you should connect with Karen and learn what she's doing, because what she's doing can help you. It's helping me just in my own yoga practice and in my yoga teaching. And so I'm really grateful for Karen. So thank you, Karen, for coming. I appreciate it so much. I'm wishing you all the best in your business, and I look forward to taking more of your classes and getting stronger. So so before we say goodbye today, I just want to say that, I am an insight coach. I help people have their own insights, and that is a sight from within. And a lot of times people, like Karen just said, they're looking outside for the answers, and the answers are really within. But sometimes you just need a little guidance. So if you want some help with anything, whether it's coping with COVID or relationship questions, things like that, find me and I'll help you. So
I just have to say, not to interrupt, but I had the opportunity to have a coaching call with Lisa, and it was amazing, the aha moments that came to me within like 40 minutes. So she's awesome.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and weekend, and happy holidays. I may be back before, December 25th, but we'll see. We'll see what the weather brings. All right, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.